China State Council Information Office is holding a press conference today on government's latest efforts, this time in implementing an innovation-driven development strategy to build the country into a leader in science and technology. Let's listen in.
To promote and participate in innovation is unprecedented. We're expanding open cooperation and moving actively to foster an ecosystem conducive to international S&T exchange and cooperation. Openness and cooperation is an inherent requirement of S&T development, as well as one for rising to common challenges. We have a vision for open, inclusive, and mutually beneficial S&T cooperation with other countries. We have established cooperation relations with 161 countries and regions and participated in 200 international organizations and multilateral institutions. We have collaborators on climate change and clean energy. The Belt and Road S&T Cooperation Action Plan yielded fruitful results, including 53 joint labs. We have led the implementation of international big science plans and projects, participated in ITER, SCIO, and other international projects. We have worked to establish a platform for international exchange and cooperation on S&T in key areas, provide a platform for talent seeking jobs in China so that China can become a fertile land for global innovation and entrepreneurship. In 2022, with the joint efforts of the whole S&T community, we were able to score one success after another. Tianhe, Wentian, and Mengtian modules have been sent into space as part of the China space station in orbit. Huafu probe, Qinghai Tibet excursion, nanosat, quantum communication, and proton therapy emerged as key breakthroughs. Our R&D intensity reached 2.5% for the first time in history. A host of breakthroughs were achieved in bottleneck areas. S&T deliverables also served to ensure successful organization and participation of Beijing Winter Olympics. Research breakthroughs have also made key contributions to the country's COVID control efforts. 2023 is the first year to implement the spirit of the 20th CPC National Congress. At such a time, it's important to break new ground and for us to become pioneers in S&T. We will become engines of growth following a new vision for development and play a key role in China's modernization drive. Moving forward, we will fully and faithfully implement the spirit of the 20th Party Congress as well as the decisions and plans of the CPC Central Committee. We will set our sight in 4 important strategic areas and take stock of the state-of-the-art and evolving trends to seize opportunities afforded by the S&T revolution and industrial transformation. We will move to level up homegrown technologies and proceed from the features of the new stage of S&T development to ensure the country's development and strategic security. We're convinced that with the strong leadership of the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, we will be able to break new ground and scale new heights. We will work earnestly to implement the strategic decisions of the 20th Party Congress, step up self-reliance and strength in S&T, and get our modernization drive to build China into a modern socialist country in all respects off to a good start and continue to make important contributions. Now, my colleagues and I are ready to take your questions. Thank you. Thank you, Minister Wang. Now the floor is open for questions. Please identify yourself before asking the question. Thank you. The 20th Party Congress identified that education, science, technology, and human resources are the fundamental and strategic pillars of building a modern socialist country in all respects. How will most work to implement that? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. The report has indeed devoted a specific section to education, science and technology, and talents. It means that the CPC Central Committee has new thinking on deepening how to achieve 1 + 1 + 1 is more than 3, which means that we can amplify the role of each and single one of them. If it weren't without strength in education, technology, and professionals, there wouldn't be a strong modern country. This is our understanding on building a strong modern socialist country, and it reflects the need to advance the strength in education, technology, and talents. Overall, these 3 elements are of decisive importance and far-reaching importance on national development. It determines the future. In the past, education, science and technology, and talents had played important roles in our endeavor to build a moderately prosperous society in all respects. The reason why these 3 elements were identified in the 20th National Congress report is for us to accentuate the importance of education, science and technology, and talents. Education is the basic, technology is the key, and talents are of foundational importance. All these 3 elements are mutually reinforcing. The way we will promote innovation-driven development is through greater development in education, science and technology, and professionals. Our ultimate goal is to build a strong, modernized country. Throughout this process, we in the Ministry of Science and Technology will work with all relevant sites to advance coordinated development of these 3 strategies, 3 goals, and 3 elements, so that we can pool resources, make relevant policies, and make every effort to build Chinese modernization. And we'll also test the outcomes of coordinated development of these 3 strategies in the progress we've made in Chinese modernization. We need better top-level design. When making plans for technology development, we must focus on education and on cultivation of talents. But the overall goal, as I said just now, is to advance modernization. Second, we also need greater coordination in science and technology as well as education. Sometimes we in the Ministry of Science and Technology will be playing a leading role. In other scenarios, we'll be playing a more supportive role. The key is to cultivate a greater number of technology professionals. those that are of high standard and high caliber. They will adapt to the needs to build a strong country in technology so that we can explore a new path with Chinese characteristics that will drive technology development and industry with education and science and technology. Thank you.
第4排那位男士。
主持人好，科技日报记者，我的问题是关于
From Science and Technology Daily, my question is on basic research.
问题。
Basic research is of great concern of all. We have made a lot of plans in this aspect. You also mentioned that we will be walking on 2 legs. What progress has been made in advancing basic research, and how can we make further improvement? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. It is a good as well as important question. As I said at the top, China sets great store by basic research. Since the 18th Party Congress, it has come to greater importance. General Secretary said that basic research is the wellspring of the entire science system and holds the key to all technological issues. We have always valued basic research, and now new breakthroughs have been made, in particular since the 18th Party Congress, in particular in science technology application. I think a feature of basic research is that as we proceed, we find that we actually know less rather than more. Just as when we read, we know that we're not as knowledgeable as we find ourselves to be. I think that is a basic attitude for basic research. So at this stage, basic research is very important, and there should be more participation and more input into basic research. The CPC Central Committee and the State Council sets great store by basic research, and General Secretary Xi Jinping has made personal decisions and instructions on that. On the 21st of this month, the Political Bureau actually had a collective learning session on basic research. General Secretary Xi Jinping said that improving a holistic approach to basic research is actually an inevitable pathway to modernization. We need to adopt a holistic approach and policy support to promote high-quality development of basic research. That is just part of what he said at the meeting. His full speech was covered by the media and by CCTV. Most works earnestly to implement the important instructions of General Secretary Xi Jinping and the decisions of the CPC Central Committee. We have done quite some planning to encourage input by the industry, firms, society, subnational governments in a more pluralistic way. R&D input into basic research rose from 4.99 billion yuan to 150 billion yuan from 2012 to 2022. As our input into all areas of research and development grew, this is actually an area with a rather high growth rate. Breakthroughs have been witnessed in our basic research, including FAST, which is the largest one of its kind, as well as a host of other big-ticket items. And other important equipments to the country, including spallation, neutron source, and other devices were built. We also planned a number of key projects, including quantum communication and stem cells, quantum computer, prototype communication, and measurement are all areas where we are top-notch. We're actually leading research efforts into quantum computing. And also regarding stem cells research, we note that stem cells could become livers or hair or parts of our body. But after we were given birth to, it would be hard for a single cell to become rather complicated parts of our body. And we're looking into how that works. And once we have more findings, it will give us more time. And also, this will bear on our national security and lasting development, as well as the health of the people. So there are many benefits to that. Quantum computing prototypes, synthetic starch, and other internationally influential original deliverables have been generated. The impact of carbon dioxide on climate change has been an issue, but if we are able to turn that with some of our technologies into starch and apply that to other industries and areas, then we will be turning something that is of difficulty to us into something of value to us. Global efforts have been made to tackle this prickly issue, including an initiative by the United Nations and what people discussed at COP26 in Egypt. So at a nanometer level, our catalysts are able to work with greater efficiency. During our work, we have seen that there are some areas where headway is slow in basic research. To begin with, we must find a question in basic research. This question has to be substantial and has to be a real question. That is actually very difficult. What matters most is not the answer, but rather the question. If we cannot get the question accurate enough, then we might not be able to find our bearings, and our work would not be as effective as they should be. So we can actually distill questions for basic research from some difficulties that we encounter in our economic and social development, or we can also proceed from our curiosity and our will to explore. We have to value both orientations. And it's important that we try to distill questions from some of our shortcomings and some bottlenecks. How can we identify the source and identify its basic workings to specific issues that we face? To make that happen, we have to work on basic research. We also need to work on team building for basic research. Quality matters more than quantity.
好的研究范式，
good methodologies
最后
and
能够解决问
paradigms
题，回答一些
will
难
lead
题
us to ultimately
科学
resolve the
难题
question.
同时能够就一些
and
方
come
法
up with
规律
answers.
做出描述，
We need to be able to
这是
describe
需要
these
的。比如说
methodologies
能够对
and
当前的
paradigms.
这个疫情，
To make that happen,
我们怎么去做描述？对吧？一种呢是一种简单的逻辑推理方式，
it
但
takes
如
a
果把
lot
逻
of
辑推理
work.
方式能够用符号来推理，就是用数学来推
So on
理，
COVID-19, we now have some logical
可能
reasoning.
它的
We
科
need
学
to
性又提
turn
升，
that into scientific and mathematical reasoning. That will be a step up
要
for the
真正
country.
有这些做基础研究的一批高水平的科学家以及他们的团
And,
队。
and that entails high caliber teams
所以这
and
个
high
基础
caliber
研究有些
professionals.
科学家呢，既要有家国情怀，也要有一种能够
Scientists
为
not
回答
only
一些
needs a
问
sense
题
of
发现一些
responsibility
问
for
题
their country,
形成一些规律性
but
的
the
描述，
capacity to ask
形成一些
questions,
观点，
to form
能够在这
descriptions,
方面
to adopt
能够
their
有自己
own
独到见
views.
解的，这
They
样一
have
种
to
荣誉
have
感
their own
荣
insights
誉感要在这方面
into
体现出来，
these
并且在
issues.
几年、几十年甚至100年后，大家还记住这些观点、这些公式、
And it's
这
important
些新的发现。
that these new
是吗？
findings,
现在为什么我们
equations,
记住牛顿啊，记住爱因斯坦
and
啊，
descriptions
记住布朗克啊，
be still remembered
等等。
as being
Jesus
made
Christ,
by
对吧？
these people?
这些人就是有这新发现。
The reason why we remember a lot of
这个新的规律，
scientists
找到了
like
新的方法。
Newton, Einstein,
这是
and
基础研
others
究需
is
要的。
because they have made new breakthroughs that
这
are
样的
of
基础研究
fundamental
是干什么？就
importance.
是真正从未知到已知，
Basic research
就未知东西你知道了，不确定的事
is
情
about
你能确定了，
proceeding from
科学。
nothing to
是
something
基础研究的重大任
to
务。
make the unknown known.
下一步我们会按照董书记关于科技创新和基础研究方面的重要指示，
Moving
按
forward,
照
we
这次
will
中央政治
follow
局
the
学习
important instructions by General
发表
Secretary
重要
Xi
讲话
Jinping on basic research and innovation and by his remarks made at the Collective Political
一
Bureau
些成果
study
这个
session.
主线，把目标导向、问题
We will
导向
continue
和自由
to
探索这3个空间、
combine
3个平台
our
都建好。
targets with
有些是
free
目标导向的基础研究，
exploration
有些是问题导向基础研究，
as
有
well
些
as
是自由探索的
question-oriented
把它们都有
exploration.
这样一个舞台，大家呢
We hope that we will set the stage
发挥自己
for
的想象力
everyone
发挥自己的聪明才智
to give full play
深厚
to their
的知识
imagination and
这个知识既包括自然科学知识
technological
也包括在哲学方面
savvy,
历史方面。
as well as their know-how and knowledge on
一个呢就是要
philosophy,
加强
history,
前
and
沿导向
culture.
的探索性基础研究，就往前
First,
看，就这个
we will need
今天我
to
们这一步是
be
踩
more
在这下一步
forward-leaning
应该是
in
什
our
么
research
谁能把
efforts.
握住，
Who can grasp the trend of
首先提出
tomorrow will get an upper
并且
hand.
为大家所共识，
We
这
need
是
to be
非
able
常难
to
这就
raise
要
the
从
question
0到1。
and then get consensus
第二
on
呢
the
是
question,
加强战
that
略
is
导向的体系化基础研究，
working from scratch.
就是我们一
And
些
second,
呃
we need to
中
stay
央
more
提出了一些重大战略目标，
oriented towards our
这些重大
strategies.
战略
We have
科技
important
支撑是必然
strategies
的，
and targets
科技支
raised,
撑是
and
其
that
中最重
entails
要的一环。
support of
所以
science and
摆在
technology
国家
as
工
a
作
key
全局的
link.
核心位置。那么我
That
们
is why
怎
we
么样
place
能
it
够
at the heart
真正为这
of
些
the
重大
country's
战略
work.
能够提出？你看，我们国家的20大提出了一系列强国，除了科
At
技
the
强国
20th Party
要支撑
Congress,
之外，那么教育强国，这个
a lot,
航
a
天
number
强国
of
交通强国等等
ideas were raised
这么多强
on
国
how to build
但是
our
这些
country
强国都
into
有一个
a
共
strong
同的
nation
特
in
点，
different
就
areas.
必须要有人才、有科技的支撑，否则强不强
A？necessary
所以
prerequisite
在这
is
方面，我们这个战略导
support
向，并且要体
in
系化
human resources
把
and
若
science
干个珍珠
technology.
串成一个项链，
We need to connect the
这件
dots
事要做。
by
第三是加强市
our
场导向的应用技术
S&T
研究，
efforts.
就是要真正
Third,
在
we
产业
need
在
to
应用中
stay
间发现一个问题
market-oriented.
对吧？然后在基础上找
We need
它
to
源头
identify the
找答
questions
案，这是
in the
找答
industries
案
and
找
then
方法
identify the
向科
answer
学技术来找
from the
这
source.
是我们一个惯性思维，也是一个必然的思维方式。就首先遇到
I
问
think
题了，
it's
科学上
a
技术上怎么去
well-established
解释，
logic
怎
for
么
us
去实
to
现，
try to
怎么去
identify
解
the
决。
questions as in
同时
applied
呢，就是
scenarios,
优化基础学科的布
and
局，
then try to work
这
out
方面也是一个，就是
the answer and how everything works. We need to identify where are some areas where science and technology will play a more infiltrative role and where it will play a more disruptive role. We hope that the younger generation of scientists and professionals will find the stage for them to give full play to their potentials. And that needs them to be able to play lead roles and make key contributions in important events and projects. And lastly, basic research is actually an exploration and excursion into the no man's land. A lot of the times, we don't know where we are going. Then how do we proceed? The first thing to do is actually to stop where we are, take some time to think and reflect, to work out our bearings and directions. That takes a lot of accumulation in science and technology, as well as audacity to create. After we're done with our contemplation, we will move forward. And sometimes we run into failure, and that is totally normal. Failure gives rise to more scientific findings than success. In traditional Chinese wisdom, we believe it's more important to take solid steps than smart steps. I think solid steps are about outcompeting ourselves. And as time goes on, smart will grow out of solid. A lot of people have sat under the apple tree, but only Newton identified gravity. And only Archimedes discovered an equation on buoyancy. I hope that everyone will keep a keen interest in science and technology. And we hope that we will cultivate in the younger generation an interest in science and technology and an ability to apply them. We hope that they will take pride in science and technology and be able to really make full use of them. Thank you. A question was asked about where we are going. Innovation of businesses bear on their long-term development. The 20th Party Congress stressed the importance of the principal role of businesses in innovation. How will most implement that? And will you roll out some policies for tech firms? Thank you for your question. That is a very important question. I will ask my colleague, Vice Minister Wu, to answer that. The 20th Party Congress has specific plans on strengthening the principal role of businesses in innovation. A shift is being stressed on businesses turning from tech innovation principle to science and technology innovation principle roles. That shows that they are of unprecedented importance in our innovation system, and also that they will play an important role throughout all links of our innovation. Businesses can continue to play a principal role in deliverables conversion incubation and application,
企业明确为
and take up a bigger role in basic research.
科技来支撑强国建设的必要的要求、必然要求。
The principal role of businesses in innovation is a necessary requirement to implement the strategy of
企
innovation-driven
业作为
development.
经济活动的基本
From the perspective
它
of
直接
these
面向
firms,
市场，
they are the basic
对于
units
产品
of our
创新、对
economy.
产业创新非常敏感。
They're in closest touch with the
同时，
market
企业
and the
也
final
是
outcomes,
科
and they're
技
very
需求的
sensitive
主
to
要
the
的
trends.
提出者，也是实现科技成果
And they're the ones who usually come up with the need for science and technology
企业是
breakthroughs
拥有了最
and the
活跃的
ones to
创新力。
realize the market value of
第
the
二个维度呢，我们来
deliverables.
看
They're a
科技
vital
来支
force
撑
in
高质量发展
innovation.
这一个维度。我国的经济已
And
经
from
转向
how
了创新驱动，
science and
高质量发展
technology
这个阶段。
support
所以
high
要求
quality
企业
development,
作为它创新链和产业链结合点，所以
businesses
企业在这个节点
are actually an intersection of the innovation and supply chains, and they need to give full play to that role as an
技
important
术创新和产业
intersection,
创新的链条。那么同时呢，
and to
要求
bring
企业
together
在
these two chains.
应用技术研究、技术研究以及前沿技术的研发投入更多的力量。
That requires more input by businesses into applied
主要的科技强国
sciences and research in frontier areas
所以啊，面向这个
to
科技的高质量的高水平的
bring
资源
together
企业呢
basic
要求
research
企业能够
and
有更
industrial
更大的责任
innovation
来完成这个任务。
that takes a
那么
strong
直面
sense
未来
of
的
responsibility
这个新的
of
要
these
求
businesses.
企业能不能真正成为创新的主体？关键
Whether
这个
businesses can become
来
the
问
principal innovators
企业
for the future
有没有能力
depends on
来带动更多的高
whether they have
更
the
多的分院
ability
所共同
to
来完
bring
成
along more
来推动
universities and
高水平的
institutes
科
to
研活动
complete these tasks
目标
and
导
to
向
carry
的
out more high quality
同时呢，也
researches in a results-oriented
这
way.
个企业能不能建立起这个来围绕创新的激励机制，然
It
后吸
also
引和凝聚
hinges
更多的
on whether our
高质量人才
incentive mechanisms
共同
can bring together more high
产
caliber
生市场的
professionals
这个价值。
to
同
realize
时呢，关
the
键我们还
market
要看
value
这个
of
这些
these
企业能不能会不会
scientific
在
and
全球范围内
technological
开
findings.
展国际合作。那么现在的企业基本是国际
What
国
also
际竞争
matters is whether we can
所以
carry
能不
out
能开放创新
international
来实现共赢
innovation
所
cooperation,
以这些关键
whether
问
we
题啊
can
对接点
realize
就是要提
win-win
提升
cooperation and
提高企业
open
的科技创新
innovation.
的能力。
So
因为
that all
接底
comes
要靠
down to
市
the
场来检验
innovation capacity of
企业的创
businesses,
新能力。
which is to be
所以啊，
tested by the
有
market.
创新啊，才有发展。这个不创新呢，这个没有出路。
Without
所以科技部啊，
innovation,
按照
there's no
我们的部
development
署
and
啊
there's no way out.
近年来一直在政策、要素和
Most
项目等方面持
has
续发展
been making continuous
支持
efforts on
企业
policy
提高
factors
创
and
新能力。
projects to support the
同时呢，
innovation capacity
在
of
具体来讲呢，
businesses.
这个
More
就在
specifically,
创新的决策、研发的投入、
on decision making
这个
of
科
innovation,
研的组织、
on input into
以及呢，
research,
成果转化
the
这几个方
organization
面
of
加大支持的力度。
S&T
这
researches,
个具体说呢，要做好
and
这个四个
conversion of deliverables.
强化，来提高企业的这个主体地位。第一个强化
And I
呢
would
就
like to
强化
sum that
企
up
业的
into 4 points.
在科技创新的决策方面的
First,
这个我们
improving the
实现
principal role of businesses in
在更大范围
innovation decision
更
making.
高深度
We
参与国
support
家的
businesses in
具体的说法
participating
可以包括
more
来吸
broadly
纳更多
and more
的
in depth
企业
in
界的
innovation
科技
decision
专
making
家
of the country.
进入这个专家
We
库
have absorbed
做
more
专家层面的咨询，
professionals from
也可以
the
建立起
businesses
这个
into our
企业
national S&T expert
学
repository.
科技人员的这个座谈会的这么一个制度。
We have established a
同时呢，也可以
mechanism
引导
for
有规律地引
seminars
导企业
among
围绕国家的重大
professionals from
战略
businesses
开展
on
研发。
science and
这
technology
个主体很重要。
and have led these businesses to carry out
第二个主体呢，
innovation
强化
with a
企业在
focus
研发投
on
入
the
上。
country's
那
priorities.
么据统计， 2022年，这个企业的投
Second,
入啊，
we have
已经
improved
占了
the principal
全
role
社会
of
投入
businesses
接近
in R&D
43%，这是个
spending.
很好的一个
In
趋势。
2023,
这个我们继
businesses
续呢，
contribute to
一方面继续加大
3/4
支持
of nationwide
企业
R&D
科
spending.
研研发投入，
We will make
继续
sure
落实
that businesses are
刚才
well
自然部长也
supported
提到的
to
关于
step up
企业
their R&D
研发的
spending,
加计扣除这种政策，
including
进一
with
步加大落实，
the weighted deduction of R&D
能扩大它
spending
范围，使得支
policies.
持企业在基础研究、应用基础研究、引导技术研究。同时呢，我们这个
We will work
建立起
to
金融
help
来支持
businesses
企业创新
lead,
的
take part in, and engage in
打
innovation.
通金融、科技和产业的链条，使得企业
Efforts are
在这个链条
made
当中，
to set up a
这个
mechanism
通过科技
for
通过科技创
financial
新
support of
能够产
businesses'
生
S&T
这个能创造
innovation
市场的价值，有获得感。
that will help
第三个
businesses
强化呢，就强化这
get
个
a
企业在科
stronger
研组织
sense
方面的
of
这么一
gain
个主体地位。
as
那
they
么这个
marketize
据统计
their
啊，
deliverables.
这个企业
Third,
这个我们的这个
we will enhance
研发计
the
划当
principal
中
role
啊，
of
企业
businesses in
参加
S&T
和牵头的
organization.
这个已经接近80%，所以我们继续
We
做
learned
好这项工作，
from
使得更
statistics
多的企业呢
that businesses lead or
牵头
participate in
组织
close to
国家
80% of
也
key
鼓励呢
national
更多的
R&D
企业
plans.
出一
I
些
hope
需
that
求，
they will be more
出一些需
engaged.
求，能发挥企业
They will come up
主体
with
人、
more
答题
demand
答题人以及呢阅题人的功能。
to give full play to
三
their
个
role
强化
as
第四个强化呢，强化
the
企业
one
在
asking,
全国
answering,
总方
and
面的主体
assessing
地位
the
具体来
questions.
讲呢，这个据统计啊，去年2022年，从
And
全
fourth,
国的技术
enhancing the
市场
principal role
交易额
of
来讲，已经达到了
businesses in converting
4.8万亿。
deliverables. In 2022,
从提供方和吸纳
tech
方
contract
吸纳方的
value
企业占
totals
比已经超过
4.78
80%，
billion
这
yuan.
是很好的一个信号。
Businesses
这个我们要
absorb
继续支持这个信号
82.8% of technologies. That is a very good signal.
这个进一步的这个优
More
化政策，
specifically,
支持企业作为成果吸
we
纳
will improve our
以及
policy for
提高
such
成果的
absorption of
转换率。
deliverables
转换的
and
同时呢，
conversion
我们
of
推
such
动
deliverables.
这个技术交易市场，
And at the
以
same
及
time,
跟我们的技术转化机构的有效互动，从而构建
we
起
will work
高
for
质量、
closer
高标
interaction
准的
between the
技
market
术要素市场，
and
使得
these
呢
businesses.
我们各种成果在企业端能够汇聚，这个是第四个强化的事情。所以我想最后在这里再强调一点是呢，创新啊不问出处，
I would like
不问
to
出身啊，
stress before I
无论
conclude
企业
that
是大是
innovation
小，无论企业
isn't
是
judged
国
by
有
who
还是民
produced
营
it.
应该在
State-owned
创
or
新过程当
private,
中
large or
都能有
small
权享受到
businesses
权利的公平，这个
should
机会
have
的
equal
以及规则
rights, opportunities, and
所以呢，
rules
我们科技部啊
as they
进
innovate.
一步的强化服务支撑，为各类企业营造
Most
公平、公
sets
正、
great
创新
store
的
by
文化氛围。
innovation, and we hope that we will create an enabling
创业
atmosphere
水平
for
以及创新
innovation
的贡献。最后呢，
so
我
that
再说一
businesses
下
can make
企
more
业我们在强调企
contributions
业
and
创新
improve
主体
their
科技创新主体
capability
的时候
for
也要
innovation.
充分的发挥这高等院所和这个高学啊的作用。谢谢。
Besides the principal role of businesses, we also need to encourage universities and institutes
企业成为主体是必然的。一个，
to do
我
that.
们国家现在是社会主义市场经济；
In our country, we run a market
第
economy.
二，我们国家是现在要靠高水平科技自立自强，来达到高质量发展，是从而成为现代化强国。那么，企业作为主体来讲，
These
在这个
enterprises,
过程中间，
as important
要
entities,
求必须在自己的科技自立自强
will
上，
need to strengthen their own capability to innovate.
国家重视对于企业
They also
导
have
向
important opportunities
创新驱动发
as
展
the country
发
shifts
展企业。
toward innovation-driven development. It means opportunities for these
今年我们
companies.
也会和相关的部门啊，
This year, we will be working with relevant departments and localities and
这些年
with
做了不少工作
relevant
刚才
companies.
蔡长白说了一下，现在的高科技企业
In my opening remarks,
达到了
high-tech firms,
中小
we
高
have
科技企业达到了
450,000 high-tech firms, including, and we have over 500,000 high-tech SMEs. These 400,000 high-tech firms account for 68% of the country's total R&D expenditure. They are of critical importance for our homegrown innovation. We need to further expand the scale and elevate the standard of their innovation. Thank you.
远端东区那位男士，第四排。
谢谢主持人。路透社记者提问。
From Reuters, we see recently that ChatGPT has triggered a widespread discussion in China. How do you see this AI-driven development? What are your considerations with regard to regulation? This is indeed a very the issue that has drawn widespread discussion. I will give the floor to our DG to give you an answer. Artificial intelligence as an emerging technology of strategic importance have become an important driving force for technological innovation, industrial upgrade, and increase in productivity. It is based on natural language processing. This is an important direction for human-machine interface. ChatGPT is indeed a phenomenal mobile app. It demonstrates a high level of natural language interaction. It shows that this natural language model has picked up some attributes of artificial intelligence and could be applied in a wide range of areas. From the perspective of the overall trend of artificial intelligence, we see two characteristics. First, artificial intelligence is highly pervasive and has fundamental impact on socioeconomic development. In technological research, artificial intelligence is providing new solutions in biology, energy, and new materials. It is leading transformation in the paradigm of science and technology research. Second, in internet, big data, supercomputing, smart computing, brain and cognitive technologies, artificial intelligence is being developed more rapidly. We are seeing a breakthrough in the entire community. Smart Plus paradigm has been used to energize industries such as manufacturing, transportation, and medical services. Some factories are called lights out factory, where artificial intelligence is playing an important role in manufacturing. In diagnostics, AI diagnostics cover over 3,000 common diseases. That is why I said just now, artificial intelligence is widely used in many areas. The Chinese government attaches great importance to the development of artificial intelligence. We have introduced the new generation AI development plan. Our ministry has set up an office to plan and promote the development of artificial intelligence, an advisory committee, and an ethics committee. We have also introduced the ethics and norms of artificial intelligence and launched major programs in artificial intelligence. We have established the basic structure where we will base on hard and software basic theories and commercialization. We will be working with leading enterprises and offer spillover benefits to the entire industry and to other small and medium enterprises. We have established 18 pilot zones on innovation, encouraging relevant localities to introduce scenarios of their own characteristics. Relevant, important concepts were introduced by scholars. Brain chips were developed. We also established a training mechanism and an important model based on artificial intelligence. These are among the best in the world. This is the basic layout we have in technological development across the country. Going forward, our ministry will take artificial intelligence as an emerging industry of strategic importance, an important driving force for economic development. First, we will build an open and coordinated AI system, accelerate breakthroughs and theoretical studies in key technologies. Second, we will further integrate artificial intelligence into economic development, enhance these technologies in important scenarios, and foster a market. Third, we will promote a more safe and controllable and manageable governance system on artificial intelligence. And fourth, we will advance openness and cooperation in artificial intelligence. Let me add on what our Director General just said. ChatGPT is indeed highly popular. How should we assess ChatGPT and how to continue to develop artificial intelligence? We also need to see that tech outcomes is like two sides of the same coin. This is based on massive computing capacity, strong mathematical models. It is based on natural language processing, such as NRT and NRU. We see that ChatGPT has its own advantages. OpenAI, the company that developed ChatGPT, has its unique strengths. Some say that in football, we see dribbling and shooting, but it's hard for everyone to mimic Lionel Messi. ChatGPT boasts its unique strength in this regard. On algorithm, data, computing capacity, we need to make further improvements. In China, with regard to new technologies, including AI, there will be relevant measures for regulations and ethics, but there will be a span of time lag between the introduction of these regulations and the emergence of such technology. We need to suppress the downsides of this technology and amplify the advantages of it. Thank you. From China Daily. The 20th National Congress stressed the importance of international cooperation and exchanges on technology and fostering an environment conducive to R&D. What is your future plans?
I will give the floor to Vice Minister Zhang. Science and technology have features of both the time and for the world.
科技的开放始终是走在前列的。
China has always taken the lead
像刚才
in
志刚部长在
open
开场
S&T
白中所提
cooperation.
到的，中国既是
As the minister said at the outset, China is both a participant in research in frontier areas and a contributor to resolving issues facing all humanity.
我想你这问题呢，概括为3个方面吧，这个向你回答一下。
I think my
一方面
answer
就是积极
will
推动
constitute
互
will
惠共赢
consist of
的
3
双
parts.
多边政府间合作取得新的进展。
First,
这方
new
面呢，
headway
我
has
们国
been
家已经和
achieved
160
and
多
will
个国
continue
家
to
和
be
地区
achieved
建
in
立了科技合作的
win-win
关系，
bilateral and multilateral
签订了
intergovernmental
116个政府
cooperation.
间的
We
科技
have
合作协定。
S&T partnerships with 160 plus countries and regions and signed intergovernmental S&T cooperation agreements with 116
2022年呢，
parties.
国际科技合作有力支撑了
We have
元首
built
外
a new
交
paradigm
和
of
国家的重
comprehensive,
大的外交的合作
multi-tiered and wide-ranging
而且
S&T
贡献了多
cooperation.
项
In
重要的合作的
2022,
成果。
S&T cooperation contributed
举办了
hugely
48
to
场
head of state
政府间的
diplomacy and major
科技合作的
diplomatic
会议，
events
新
and
签和续签了
registered
25项
multiple outcomes.
科技合作的文件，在科技抗疫、
We have signed 25
生物多样性、气候变化
intergovernmental
和
and
清洁能源
multilateral
等多个领
agreements
域，与多个国家
on
开展了深入
the role of
务实的
S&T in COVID
且成效
response,
的
climate change, biodiversity, and clean energy, as well as other areas. We have carried out effective cooperation with several
和
countries
空间信息服务
on S&T
方
and
面
poverty
汇集了
reduction,
更多的国家和人民，
innovation, entrepreneurship,
推
and
动了一带一路
deliverable
科技
conversion.
创新合作的新的跃升。
Benefits have been delivered to many
第二个
countries
方
and
面就
peoples,
是主动
and
参与
leapfrog
全球
development
治理体系，
is registered for
围绕
BRI
全人类
S&T
共同的
innovation
挑战，
cooperation.
提出中国方案，
Second,
做出中国的贡
We
献。
have taken active part in
主动
global innovation
设置
governance, with a
全球性的
focus
科技
on making China's
科技
contributions to
议题，
addressing joint
比如说
challenges.
让实施
We took the initiative
科技
to
的
set the
抗疫
agenda
国际
for
科技的行动，
global
包
innovation.
括推动金砖国家疫苗研发中心的建设，
We
牵头发
have
起
implemented the
绿色
science-based
电力
COVID
未来使命，
response
以及
international
制定
cooperation
碳中
action,
和国际合作
promoted
的
the
行动，
BRICS vaccine
这些都是我们
R&D
中方
centers building,
主动提出
and
的倡议
led
对
the
采纳。
Green Power Future
同时呢，
mission and drew
由
up
中国科学家发起
carbon
的国际
neutrality
大科学计划
international
和
science
大
and
科学工程
technology
已经
innovation
取得了
cooperation
重大进
plan.
展。参与的国际
International
热核
big
聚变试验
science
堆、
projects and plans
平方公里
witnessed
阵列射电
remarkable
望远镜等
outcomes,
国际大科学计划和大科学
including
工程
ITER and
也取得
SCIO.
了重大的成果。我国在这些重要的国际科技
China's
组织当中的
contributions, voice,
贡
and
献度、
leadership in these
话语
important
权、
international
领导力。
S&T organizations have
第
improved
三个方面就是要我们
significantly.
已经进一步加大了
Third,
科技的对外
we
的开
have
放，营造
further
了良好的
opened up to the
开放的
world
创新的生态，
in terms of
试
science
点
and
设立了
technology
面向
and
全球
fostered
的
a good
科学研究基金，
environment and
支持
ecosystem for
外籍科学家
open
领衔
innovation.
和参与国家的科
We
技计划，
explored the setting up of a
鼓励
scientific
各国科
research
学家
fund
围绕我们共同的问题
facing the whole
共同
world,
开展
whole
研
world
究，
to support
提升应对全人类问题的能力。
researchers with
围
foreign
绕外国
nationalities to
朋友、外国
participate
人
in
才
major
在中国
domestic
工作
research
生活的
plans,
问题啊，陆
with a
续出台
focus
了一
on
批
the work of
更加开
life
放、
of foreigners in
更加有效
China.
的政策。
We have
另外呢，
rolled out
鼓励和支
more
持
open and
我们
effective
国家的
policies.
科研院所呀、高校啊
We have worked to encourage and support
和一些地方政府啊
institutes,
这些
higher
东西和我们
institutions,
科研人员
businesses,
积
as
极
well
的开
as
展对外
subnational
的合作和
governments,
交流，实现政府、
as well as
民间
individual
双轮驱动，
researchers
促
to
进
engage in more
民心相
active
通，
foreign exchanges
理念
and
融通，
cooperation.
要素畅通，设施连通。
And we have worked
党的
to
20 大
foster greater connectivity among the
为
people,
我们国
infrastructure
际科技
between
合作指明了
businesses,
前进的方向。
and our visions.
下一步呢，我们将进一
The
步强
report to
化
the 20th Party
元首
Congress
外交引
sets the
领，
course for
积极融
S&T
入全球
innovation
创新的网络，
cooperation in a new
加
era.
强
Moving
政府间的
forward,
对接，
we will
深
be
化
guided
民间的
by
交流，
such instructions to integrate actively into the global innovation network, expand intergovernmental cooperation, deepen people-to-people exchanges, and expand the breadth and depth of international S&T cooperation. We will roll out a number of reform documents in key areas for reforms. Moving forward, China's door will open wider and wider to international cooperation on science and technology, and we will make China's contributions and wisdom for the building of a better home for all humanity, and truly live up to our responsibility of building a community with a shared future for mankind through S&T innovation.
谢谢主持人，我是红星新闻记者。
Thank you, Restart News.
科技创新的根源在于人，请问科技部在科技人才培养和引进方面有哪
The
些
source
进展？
of innovation
科研人
is
员较为
talent.
关
What
注
are
的
some new
检测工
progress
作成效
in
如何？
talent
下一步在激发
cultivation?
广大科研人员，尤其
What are
是
some
青年人
work
才的
of
创新活力和
most
发展
on
潜力方面，
burden
还将有哪些
relieving,
举措？
and how is
谢
it
谢。
incentivizing
好，
younger
谢谢你的问题。
generations of
我要请
researchers?
我们科技部谢敏司长来回答。
Thank you. I would like to give the floor to DG Xie.
是人才驱动，人才是根本。
Innovation-driven development comes down to talent and professionals. They are the starting point, and the people are the players in making innovations. Since the 18th Party Congress, China has been improving its assessment reforms and as well as its incentive mechanisms to unleash the full potentials of our talents, focusing on the needs and expectations of the S&T professionals and working to foster an enabling ecosystem that is innovation-friendly. We have made quite some remarkable progress. First, greater quality and quantity of our talent pool. In 2022, the number of researchers in China is expected to be more than 6 million person-years, topping the world for many years. And the structure of the team continues to improve. They are playing a bigger role with greater ability to support high-quality development. Second, our system and mechanism for incentivization is improving. Most works with ministries of education and finance, as well as other departments and ministries, to relieve researchers of their burdens and address their concerns. A number of solid measures were rolled out. Their integrity, performance, and actual deliverables were all part of the criteria for their assessment. We also rolled out more than a dozen specific measures to reduce paperwork and streamline institutions. To incentivize the younger generation, we were working to give them more opportunities and time to take up the lead roles in the country's plans. People aged under 45 account for more than 80% of our entire talent pool. Third, we're working faster to internationalize our team. We hope to make China a fertile ground for talents to develop in China. We have rolled out policies to facilitate the life and work of foreign nationals in China. We run joint researches with over 50 countries and regions to build a new high ground for science and technology innovation with a huge talent pool of top-notch talent. Moving forward, we will work to implement the talent-driven development orientation in a new era. We will work to coordinate both our targets for the country and cultivate talent from home and abroad. We will work to foster an enabling atmosphere and environment for innovation and entrepreneurship and build a large, well-structured and high-caliber team for science and technology innovation to provide human resources support for our technological self-reliance and development. Thank you.
我们关注到国家高新区总数较10年前翻了近1倍，国家自创区也探索取得了一批可复制和
We
推广
noted
的
a
改革试
huge
点
rise
成
in the
果。
number
请问
of
能否举例详细说
SNT
明一下
centers?
具体情况？
Could you
下一步
please
还将推出哪些
tell
举
us
措
some
更好
examples?
发挥国家自创区
What
和
are
高
some
新
measures
区的辐
moving
射带动
forward,
作
and
用？
how
谢谢。
will we give full play to the role of such parks and centers?
我们吴朝辉副部长来回答。
好，这个建设国家高新区和自创区是党中央
Building
国务
a
院
high
做出的重大
high
的战略
and
部
new
署。
technology zone and
1988
homegrown
年
innovation
首
zone
批的高新区
is an important
树立了
plan made
发
by
展
the
高科
CPC
技
Central
实
Committee
现
and the
产业化
State
的战略方
Council
向。
in reform and opening up
2009 年
and the
设立的
modernization
国
drive.
家自创区，进一步的聚焦治理
The
自主创新，开
homegrown
展先行
innovation
先试，
zone,
并且
the idea of
进
this
行改
zone
革
is,
创新。
was introduced
党的
back in
18大以来，
2009.
全国的
Since the
177家
18th Party Congress,
高新区和23家自创区全面落实
we
又高又新的
have
要求，
had
发挥了重
177
要的
high and new
示范
technology
引领
zones and
和
23 homegrown innovation
改革
zones.
示
They
范
have
引领
played an important
走
role
走
in
出了一
setting
条
the
中国特
example
色的
and offering spillover
高
benefits
新
to their
技术
industries.
产
They
业
have
化的
explored a
成为
path
了
of Chinese characteristics
科技体制改革
on
的
advancing
试验田
the，development
成为了
of high
创新
and
驱
new
动
technologies.
发展的排头兵，
They have
成为
become
了
the pace
高质
setter
量发展的开路先锋。
and trailblazers
2022
for high quality
这个高
development.
新区自创区
In
啊，继续保持
2022,
这个
these
发
high
展
and
的
new
态势。
technology zones
这个
have
高新区
sustained
啊，
a
一
momentum
共贡
of
献了
rapid development,
13.6%
accounting for
GDP， 同时在节能降耗
13.6%
方面
of
走在了前列。
GDP.
据统计，万元工
They
业
are also
增
the
加
pace
值的
setter
能
in
耗
terms of
为全国平
energy
均值的
intensity.
不到
The energy consumption
2%。
per 10,000 yuan added value
为
was
稳增长
around 2/3 of the national
那么我
average,
们在纵
contributing
观
to
高新区
stable
自创区
growth.
10年的发展，
Throughout these
我们
10 years of
这个
development,
它的显著的成就
the
和
achievements
突破的进
of
展
these
体现
two
在
types
又
of
高
zones
又新上特点上。
have
那么高新
a
区
number of
自创区发展
attributes.
它显著的成就体现在
The outstanding
3个方面
achievements can be
第一个高呢，
summarized in the following
高水
3
平
points.
创新资源
First,
加快
high
集
level
聚，
innovation resources
国家高新区
were
R&D
concentrated.
的经费
R&D
占全国企业
expenditure
总费
in
超过
high
一
and
半
new technology
达到
zones
60%以上。
account for
企业发明
nearly
专利
half of the
这个拥有
national
有效专
total.
利
The
在
valid
全国的
patents
企业
held by
总
these
量也是一半，接
companies
近一半。
account
同时
for
拥有国
around
家级的
50% of the
平台
national
也接近
total.
全国的一半，这3个50%。
and they also
第二
account
高
for
呢是
around
高在
50%
高成长
of
性的企
high
业
tech platforms.
不断的涌现，
Second,
这个
high
高新区
growth
啊，
companies
这个汇聚了
keep
超过
emerging.
1/3的
In these
科技
zones,
型微小型企业、中小型企业，
or these zones have
1/3的
attracted
高新企业，
over
1/3
1/3
的
of
这
tech-focused
个创业板企业
SMEs
这个第二
and
个
high-tech
第3个高呢
firms,
是高端的产业
and
持续
as well as 2/3 of listed
啊，
companies.
比如说这个北京的中
For
关村广
instance,
汇区，它的 ICT 的
In
高端产
Beijing,
业
Zhongguancun
占比全国
ICT
17%。
industry account for
比如说长三
17%
角的
of
36
the
个高新
country.
区，在
The
生物医药的高
36
端产业方面超过了全国的一半。
high and new technology zones in the Yangtze River Delta, their biomedical industry account
自主
for
创新
around a
自创
half
区，
of the national
这
total.
个
In
在
the
产
Pearl
生一
River
批
Delta,
高端
homegrown
的先进
innovation
材料
zones
万亿级的产业集群。
have
刚才讲的
attracted
3个高，也体现了
a
高
s-
新区
series
在
of industrial
显著性
clusters
这个成就方面所
in advanced
另外，
materials.
高新区自创新还体现在新
The progress made in these two types of zones can also be summarized in the following 3 points. First, new sources. Second, reform-driven innovation. And third, advancing, opening up and innovation. These zones have become sources of homegrown innovation. For instance, the first type of AI chip, the very first superconductivity quantum computing prototype, are among the many firsts produced in these zones. They have also given rise to new tracks and new fields of future-oriented industries. For instance, smart robots, satellite navigation, genes, and cells. We see new business forms in the high and new technology zones. They are being commercialized. Second, reform-driven innovation. The key is reform. The 3 homegrown innovation zones have taken original steps to advance innovation. For instance, in Zhongguancun, we are conducting a pilot program on R&D expenditure-based tax reduction and the use first, pay later policy. These policies are highly popular in these homegrown innovation zones. They have also contributed to greater innovation. Finally, on opening up and innovation, these two types of zones set great store by international standards and they have introduced policies up to international standards. They have set up 2,200 overseas R&D institutes and built a solid groundwork for further innovation. The thinking we have is to act on the guidance of the 20th Party Congress. We will keep improving the branding of these zones and enhance their development. We are going to work on 3 fronts. First, we will build on what we have achieved. It means that in high and new technology zones, we will expand leading technology firms and world-class industrial clusters. We will further cultivate future-oriented industries and promote high-level development. Second, we will continue to deepen reform. I have said that they are the pace setter in reform. Still, we will double down on pilot programs and we will advance high-level growth in our own technologies and foster an enabling ecosystem for high-level innovation. Finally, on coordinated development, we will pool the strength of both high and new technologies and homegrown innovation zones so as to provide a solid underpinning for innovation-driven development and foster strategic pivots for us to integrate into global innovation network. These are the 3 fronts we will be working on in the future, which in turn will improve our branding of these 2 types of zones. This will contribute to making China into a strong country in technology. Thank you.
That's Chinese authorities briefing the media on China's innovation-driven development strategy. For some more insights, we're joined by Professor Liu Chi, the Vice Dean of Beijing Institute of Technology. Hello there, Professor Liu. So what are your major takeaways from the press conference?
I think this press conference leaves me a very important impression that strengthening science and technology innovation to support the self-reliance has become China's national strategy to implement in the long run to go. Yeah.
So China's research and development for spending has risen from 1 trillion yuan to 2.8 trillion yuan, so the second highest in the world, that is. So China is now home to the largest group of R&D personnel in the world. Officials also answered questions on the cultivating of talents. So what benefits will the large scale of R&D input bring to the country?
Yes, we are witnessing the success of many key technology breakthroughs, including the 5G infrastructure, the AI-based applications, the high-speed rail, and even the commercial plane in the immediate future. I think these achievements cannot be done without many R&D personnel contributions. Meanwhile, we have to be very clear in mind that we're still falling behind in some of the world-leading research areas, especially in the fundamental AI theory and algorithm, for example, in chip design and manufacturing industrial software design, etc. Yeah.
As you've mentioned, the official answered questions from the reporters on the artificial intelligence, the chat, GPT, that stuff. So China has stressed the need to build an institutionalized and high-level platform to cultivate the talented personnel for basic research. So how significant is this move, even as some countries push back against globalization?
I strongly believe that the professional education and the training should go beyond the country borders and cannot be refrained within one single entity, where globalization is the key to achieve this. I think from the undergraduate student exchange program, for example, to the even joint PhD student training between two supervisors in two countries, or even to the in-career continual education, is not only part of a learning process by himself or herself, but also involved in a knowledge development and advancement process together with the international partner. And thus we should be looking at the places where the frontier science and technologies can be found and actively participating in the R&D process globally. Yeah.
And what other measures can China take to sustain its self-reliance in science and technology development?
I think the key measure is what the press conference has mentioned many times. I fully agree, is to emphasize the significance of doing fundamental research, where I think the researchers, the professors in universities and institutions should pay a lot more attention and efforts to theoretical foundation breakthroughs rather than only doing the pure application-driven research. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Professor Liu Chi from the Beijing Institute of Technology. Appreciate it. In our special series, The New Path, one of China's primary means of achieving modernization